Imagine, on one hand, the whole world is considering electric vehicles, EVs, as the future. And on the other hand, the CEO of Mazda makes a big statement. Our new rotary engine will shake up the entire electric vehicle industry. Hearing this, it feels like a jolt of electricity runs through the air. Because as soon as the name of rotary engine comes to mind, people get an image of power, speed, and innovation. Now Mazda is saying that their engine will be more robust, economical, and powerful than EVs. That means the industry, which was considered invincible till now, has suddenly been faced with a new challenge. This is not just an engine, but a revolution, which can change the entire game of the world of vehicles. Imagine, on one hand, the tension of charging stations, high cost of batteries and range has not been solved yet. And on the other hand, Mazda has put its full faith in its rotary engine. Now the question arises whether this will really shake up the future of electric cars, or will EV companies find a solution to this too? What technology is used in this engine? And why is there so much commotion about it? And yes, before moving on to the video, subscribe to the channel so that you can be the first to see such videos. History and identity of rotary engine. Think, when we talk about car engines, most people think of a piston engine. The same engine that has cylinders, the piston moves up and down and produces power. But in the world of cars, an engine came that broke this tradition, and its name is rotary engine. And if we talk about rotary engine, then the first name that comes to mind is Mazda. Mazda is the company that gave a new identity to this engine and showed the world that cars are not limited to piston engines only. The rotary engine started in the 1950s to 60s. It is also called Wankel engine because it was designed by German engineer Felix Wankel. This engine looks simple, but its way of working is very unique. There are no pistons moving up and down in it, nor are there any heavy parts. Instead, it has a triangular rotor that rotates round and produces power. This is why it is called rotary. Now, Mazda adopted this engine and gave it a life that surprised the world. In the 1970s and 80s, Mazda started using this engine in its sports cars, especially cars like the RX-7 and later the RX-8 gave the rotary engine an iconic identity. The RX-7 is still a dream for car lovers. Its slick design, light body, and the sound of the rotary engine, all these together make it a cult classic. Why is the rotary engine considered so different from other engines? First of all, its smoothness. Because it does not have the up-down jerk like a piston, the engine is very smooth and rev-friendly. That is, as you press the accelerator, the engine gives power without any interruption. The second thing is its compact size. A small rotary engine can give the same power as a large piston engine. This is why Mazda's RX series cars were light and fast. The third and perhaps the biggest feature is its sound. The high-pitched whine and sporty sound of the rotary engine made car lovers crazy. Many people say that the real fun of driving an RX-7 or RX-8 is hidden in the sound of its engine. This is the reason why even today people get excited as soon as the RX-7 enters car meets or racing tracks. But there were not only good things. There were many challenges with the rotary engine. The biggest problem was its fuel efficiency. This engine gave tremendous power but consumed a lot of petrol. The second problem was reliability. Many times it would break down after running for a long time, and maintenance was expensive. The third big problem was emissions, i.e. that pollution. When strict emission norms for vehicles started coming in around the world, the rotary engine was left behind. This is why auto companies gradually abandoned it, and Mazda also discontinued it after the RX-8. But despite this, the story of the rotary engine did not end. Its place in car culture is still like that of a superstar. Especially in the Japanese car culture and tuning community, the RX-7 is considered a legend. People still buy second-hand RX-7 and modify it, install turbos, and run it on tracks. This has made the rotary engine immortal even in death. Mazda also did not say goodbye to it completely. In the last few years, the company has tried to revive it. In 2023, they launched a hybrid car, the Mazda MX-30R EV, in which the rotary engine was used as a range extender. That is, when the battery runs out, the rotary engine starts and gives the car extra range. It is clear from this that Mazda not only sees the rotary engine as its heritage, but also wants to keep it alive in some form in the future. Features of the new rotary engine. Now just think. The rotary engine that people had considered old is in the news again today. Mazda has revived it, but this time in a smarter, more powerful, and economical form than before. The question is, what new technology is installed in it, which is making it such a big player against electric vehicles, EVs? First of all, let's talk about the new technology. This time, Mazda did not leave the rotary engine alone, but linked it with a hybrid and range extender system. That is, now this engine does not directly power the wheels, but charges the battery and helps the car to cover long distances. This has two advantages. First, there is not much pressure on the engine, and second, the range of the car increases a lot. This was the biggest problem of the EV industry, range. And Mazda has directly attacked that weakness. Apart from this, the new rotary engine is very small and light in size. Compared to piston engines, this engine is compact, and Mazda has used high-efficiency fuel injection and modern cooling technology in it. This means that it can produce more power by burning less petrol. The biggest complaint about old rotary engines was that they consumed more fuel, but this time, Mazda has tried to overcome that weakness as well. The third, and perhaps the biggest thing, is smoothness and performance. The design of the rotary engine is such that no pistons move up and down in it. Therefore, there is very little vibration in it, and it runs smoothly even at high RPM, that is, high engine speed. EVs are also smooth, but the thrill of the engine is missing in them. That fun of driving, that sound, that adrenaline rush, is not found in EVs. Mazda claims that the new rotary engine will give the driver the same excitement that is found in a real sports car. Now, let's talk about being economical. The biggest problem of EVs is the battery. About 40% of the cost of an electric car goes towards the battery. And these batteries are not only expensive, but also heavy. Moreover, charging infrastructure is not available everywhere. In such a situation, Mazda's rotary engine comes across as a balanced solution. This engine is small, cheap to make, and not as expensive as batteries. That is, Mazda is saying that their cars will be cheaper than EVs and more comfortable to drive. Mazda has also installed low-emission technology in it. Earlier, the biggest problem with the rotary engine was that it emitted more smoke. But now, the company has installed a new catalytic converter and clean burning system. This means that this engine will no longer be polluting like the old rotary engine, but it has been made cleaner and greener. There is another interesting thing. Mazda says that the new rotary engine will come with fuel flexibility. That is, it can run not only on petrol, but also on biofuel or synthetic fuel. If this happens, it will become an even bigger tension for EVs because it means that the engine will also be compatible with future fuel technology. Now think, when a small engine can give you long range, more power and fun at a low cost, will people run towards EVs or will they return to Mazda? This is the reason why the company is so confident. Even today, questions like battery life, charging time, and infrastructure have not been answered in EVs. At the same time, Mazda says that their new rotary engine will get rid of all these hassles. Talking about driving experience, Mazda's rotary engine has always been a symbol of pure driving. Cars like RX-7 and RX-8 made people realize that the car is not just a means to go from A to B, but is a passion. The new rotary engine will carry forward that legacy and give the real fun of driving compared to EVs, which battery-powered cars are unable to provide. Current challenges of the EV industry. Electric vehicles are being discussed everywhere these days. Governments are saying that this is the future. Companies are launching new models, and advertisements are showing that driving an EV is the smartest decision. But the ground reality is a little different. There are many challenges related to EVs due to which people still think twice before buying one. The biggest challenge is the charging infrastructure. Think about it. Petrol pumps are available on every street and intersection. But where do you find EV charging stations? In big cities, facilities have increased to some extent, but the situation is still very bad in small towns and villages. People are afraid that what will they do if the battery runs out in the middle of the road? Finding a charging station is a problem. This is the reason why many people say that EV is not yet reliable for long journeys. The second big problem is the cost of the battery. The most expensive thing in an electric car is its battery. It is believed that about 40% of the total cost of an EV is spent on the battery alone. And if the battery gets damaged or has to be replaced, it becomes a huge burden on the pocket. This is the reason why many people are afraid while buying an EV that, what if the battery stops working tomorrow? Apart from this, materials like lithium, cobalt used in making batteries are also very expensive, and their supply chain is also not stable. Range anxiety. Even though EV companies claim a range of 400 to 500 kilometers, in reality the car is not able to cover that much distance. The battery gets discharged quickly due to running the air conditioner, getting stuck in traffic, or in cold areas. As a result, there is always a fear in people's minds that the car may stop working midway. This is called range anxiety, and it is the biggest challenge of the EV industry. Now just think, when a person goes to buy a new car, he does not just buy the car, but also his comfort. People want the car to be reliable, take them anywhere, and not bother them. This trust has not been fully built in the case of EVs. Many people say, okay, EV is good, but let's wait till charging stations are everywhere. There is another thing, charging time. It does not take more than 5 minutes to fill petrol or diesel, but charging an EV can take anywhere from 30 minutes to several hours. If someone has to travel long distances every day, then this becomes a big problem for him. Yes, fast chargers are coming, but their number is very less right now, and they are also expensive. Maintenance and repair is also a matter of concern. The technology in EVs is new, and not every mechanic knows how to repair it. If there is any problem in the battery or motor, then one has to go directly to the company's service center, and the cost is also high. This makes customers even more hesitant. Then comes the matter of resale value. People often wonder, if I buy an EV and want to sell it after a few years, will I get a good price? This is because battery degradation is a big problem in EVs. As the battery ages, its capacity decreases. This reduces the range of the vehicle, and buyers are not willing to pay that much. The challenges of EVs are at 3 levels. First, lack of infrastructure. Second, price tension. And third, lack of trust. This is why many people are still hesitant before buying an EV. They want to wait and see how quickly the situation and technology improve. EV companies are trying to find solutions to these problems. Charging stations are being built rapidly. Battery prices are gradually coming down. And new technology is also improving range. But all this will take time. This is the window where brands like Mazda are offering their new rotary engine as an option. Because until the challenges of EVs are not completely solved, people will definitely look for some other solution. Reaction of the global auto industry. When the CEO of Mazda made the statement that their new rotary engine will shake up the entire EV industry, the automobile world was stirred up. This statement was not just the confidence of one company, but it was a direct challenge to those big companies that are ruling the EV market today. First, let's talk about Tesla. Tesla is considered the king of the EV industry. Elon Musk showed the world that electric cars are not just experiments, but can become a real business. But Tesla's biggest strength is its EV ecosystem, battery technology, charging network, and software. Now, Mazda's rotary engine does not directly shake this ecosystem, but it definitely gives customers a new option. If people start thinking that a car can run without a charging station and without battery tension, then Tesla's monopoly can be affected. The biggest danger for Tesla is that this move of Mazda may also attract those customers who were thinking of buying an EV, but were still confused. Now let's come to BYD. This Chinese company has become the biggest force in the EV market today. BYD not only makes cars, but is also #1 in the world of batteries. Their biggest advantage is low price and long range. But Mazda's rotary engine can become a hindrance here too. Why? Because Mazda is saying that their vehicles will be cheaper and more economical than EVs. If Mazda really fulfills this promise, then BYD's low-cost models can be directly affected. And this is a warning bell for a company like BYD because their entire strategy is based on affordable EVs. Now let's look at Toyota and Honda. Both these companies are a little behind in the EV race. Toyota still relies more on hybrid technology, while Honda is slowly connecting with EV. Mazda's rotary engine can give them some relief. Why? Because Tesla and BYD have gone far ahead in the world of EV. If this new engine of Mazda is really successful, then companies like Toyota and Honda can consider it as a backup path. That is, if EVs are not completely successful, then they will also have a chance to survive with internal combustion engines and hybrids. Toyota has always been saying that EV is not the only future. They are working on hydrogen, hybrid, and different types of technologies. Mazda's rotary engine further strengthens Toyota's belief. Perhaps Toyota thinks that if Mazda can do this, then they too can take their hybrid engines further. Honda's case is a little different. Honda always believes in its engineering and innovation. Mazda's rotary engine can be an inspiration for them on how to keep the traditional engine alive in a new way. If Honda wants, it can bring some twist to its hybrid engines so that it can compete with EV companies. On the other hand, European companies like BMW, Mercedes, and Audi are mostly focusing on EV. But this move of Mazda will force them to think too. The infrastructure of EVs is still being built in Europe, and the prices of batteries are also very high there. In such a situation, if Mazda's rotary engine cars are launched in Europe and give more range at a lower price, then German companies may also have to change their strategy. This statement by Mazda is a wake-up call for the entire global auto industry. Companies like Tesla and BYD will see it as a threat, while companies like Toyota and Honda may take it as an opportunity. European companies will probably wait first, but if Mazda succeeds, they too can speed up their engine and hybrid projects again. Mazda's confidence: EVs versus rotary. When the whole world is running towards EVs, Mazda's confidence is really surprising. The company is openly saying that their new rotary engine can become a real alternative to electric vehicles. Now the question is, why is Mazda so confident? And what is their future strategy? First of all, Mazda believes that the weaknesses of EVs have not been completely resolved yet. Batteries are expensive, charging infrastructure is incomplete, and customers always have fears about the range. This is where Mazda is pitching its rotary engine as a solution. The company says that their engine is small, economical, and capable of covering long distances without any kind of battery tension. This means that the rotary engine can solve the problems that EVs face. Mazda is proud of its engineering heritage. The rotary engine has been their identity. Cars like the RX-7 and RX-8 showed the world that Mazda is a company that thinks differently. Now that they have introduced this engine with new technology and high efficiency, they are sure that it will win the hearts of customers again. Mazda's confidence also comes from the fact that they already have a loyal fan base who have never forgotten the sound and performance of the rotary engine. Mazda's strategy is clear. They do not want to jump straight into the race of EVs. They know that companies like Tesla and BYD are far ahead in this game. So Mazda has changed the way. They said, okay, EVs are your strength, but we will take a different approach and exploit your weaknesses. This is a smart move on their part because it makes them stand out from the crowd. Now let's come to the company's future planning. Mazda is currently focusing on hybrid and range extender cars, that is, a combination of battery plus rotary engine. In this way, they want to offer the best of both worlds, clean energy of EVs and reliable performance of the engine. This will not cause the customer to worry about the charging station or the range. Apart from this, Mazda is planning to enter the affordable segment as well. EVs are expensive, and not everyone can afford them. If Mazda brings cars with rotary engines at a low price, it will also attract those customers who want to buy EVs but hold back due to budget. The company has another plan: diversity in the global market. Mazda knows that not every country is equal in adopting EVs. Europe and China are ahead in EVs, but markets like India, Southeast Asia, and Africa still lag behind in charging infrastructure. Mazda's rotary engine can prove to be perfect for such countries. This means that Mazda can strengthen its hold in those countries in one go where EV is still a dream. Another important aspect is Mazda's long-term vision. The company is not making this engine only for petrol, but is also preparing it for future biofuel and synthetic fuel. This means that in the coming 10 to 15 years, when new types of fuel come into the market, the rotary engine will be able to easily support them. This will give Mazda a chance to play the long game. Mazda's confidence is also reflected in the fact that they are presenting their engines not just as technology, but as brand identity. Just like EVs are remembered as soon as the name of Tesla is mentioned, Mazda wants people to remember them as soon as the name of rotary engine is mentioned. This strategy is not just a game of technology, but also of marketing. Benefits for customers. Now let's look at it from the customer's perspective. What benefits will a common car buyer get from Mazda's new rotary engine? The first benefit is the price. Today, the price of EVs is so high that not everyone can afford them. Their batteries are so expensive that the price of the car starts skyrocketing. Mazda says that their new rotary engine is compact, lightweight, and cheap to manufacture. This means that their vehicles will be available at a lower price than electric vehicles. This will make the common customer feel that a reliable car can be bought without looking for a charging station and without spending too much money. Mileage and convenience. The biggest fear with EVs is range anxiety. The car may stop working midway, but with a rotary engine, this fear is eliminated. Fill up with petrol or biofuel and travel long distances without any tension. Also, Mazda has made this engine more efficient, which means it does not gulp petrol like the old rotary engines, but gives more power in less fuel. Long-term use. Battery life has always been a concern in EVs. After 6 to 8 years, the battery capacity reduces, and it is very expensive to replace it. This is the reason why people hesitate before buying an EV. There will be no such tension in cars with rotary engines. Yes, the engine will have to be serviced, but that cost will be much less than replacing the battery. Meaning, in the long run, it will be lighter on the pockets of the customers. Apart from this, customers will also get the real fun of driving from this engine. EVs are smooth, but they do not have the sporty feeling that a car with an engine gives. The sound of a rotary engine, its response and smooth power delivery make driving more exciting. For customers who buy a car not just for convenience, but for passion, this engine will prove to be icing on the cake. Now let's talk about environment and sustainability. The biggest question here is that when the whole world is considering EVs as the future of green energy, then where does the rotary engine stand in it? Mazda claims that they have made this engine cleaner and more efficient than ever before. It has been fitted with an advanced catalytic converter and clean-burning system so that it emits less smoke and extracts more energy. Mazda also says that their engine will not be limited to petrol only. Preparations are being made to run it on biofuel and synthetic fuel as well. If this happens, then this engine will prove to be much more environmentally friendly than conventional petrol engines. And this is a big deal, because there is a lot of pollution and mining problem associated with making the battery of EVs. That is, EVs are not completely clean as they are shown. But the truth here is that no matter how efficient it is made, a rotary engine still burns fuel. That means carbon emissions are not completely eliminated. The biggest plus of EVs is that they emit zero smoke while running. That is why many people will say that the rotary engine is Mazda's marketing strategy, a way to give people a new option. But it must also be accepted that if the engine runs on biofuel or synthetic fuel, then it can really become a strong alternative to EVs. So now the biggest question is, will Mazda really shake up the EV industry? Will its new rotary engine pull people away from EVs and change the game of the entire automobile world? Or will big companies like Tesla, BYD find a solution to this challenge as well, and EVs will maintain their hold? The truth is that only time will tell who will win, the old but new power of the rotary engine or the fast-growing revolution of EVs. But one thing is certain, that the world of automobiles is going to be even more exciting now. And yes, before you leave, do tell us in the comments, what do you think is the future? And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you can be the first to see such amazing updates.